Hey everyone, today we are diving into a fascinating story how the United States became undisputed heavyweight champion of the global tech industry, outspacing its competitor like European Union, Asia, and beyond other continents also. From Silicon Valley to the Wall Street, the USA has built a tech empire that powers the world. So, what's the secret source behind this? Let's break it down. First point one, the innovation ecosystem. First of all, the US has an unmatched innovation system with Silicon Valley as its beating heart. This isn't just a geography; it's about a culture that celebrates risk-taking and entrepreneurship. Places like San Francisco, Seattle, and Boston are home to the tech giants like Apple, Google, and Microsoft, but also thousands of startups itching to disrupt the status also. Compared to that, EU where the regulatory hurdles and fragmented market can slow things down. Europe has amazing talent and idea, but tech hub like Berlin or London do not quite match the concentrated firepower of Silicon Valley. In Asia, countries like China have made a massive stride with the companies like Tencent and Alibaba, but government oversight and censorship can stifle its innovation. The USA offer a freer environment which bold idea can flourish. Now on point two, across access to the capital. Next, let's talk about money. The USA dominant in the venture capital. Think billion of dollar flowing into startup every year. In 2024, US startup raised over 138 billion in venture funding, drafting Europe 45 billion and Asia 70 billion. According to Crunchbase data, investors in USA are willing to bet on unproven idea, creating a cycle where ideas scale up fast and go public or get acquired. In contrast, you investors tend to be more risk averse and funding in spread across 27 countries with a different regulation. Asia tech scene while growing often rely on state-backed funding, especially in China, which can prioritize the political goal over innovation. The US deep pocket and risk-tolerant investor gave it a massive edge also. Now on point three, talent and education, there are the talent pool. The US is a magnet for old-based mind. Top university like MIT, Stanford, and Caltech crunch out of the innovation who stayed and built a company. The H-1B visa program, despite its pull into a global talent, engineer, coder, and researcher who power companies like Tesla and Amazon. Europe also has great university, but many graduates move to US for better opportunity. In Asia, countries like India produce incredible engineer, but due to the brain drain is real, many are head to the Silicon Valley. Meanwhile, China tech is the tech talent in the world class, but language barrier and geopolitical tension limits its global reach. The US just keep winning the talent war. Point four, market size and cultural influence is another huge factor. The USA massive unfied market with 330 million consumer and a shared language. Companies can scale quickly without navigating the huge linguistic and regulatory patchwork. Plus, American culture, movies, and social media spread tech globally. You ever wonder why everyone use iPhone or scrolls TikTok? That the US soft power at work. Okay, now Asia market is also huge but fragmented. China's tech world is wild by the Great Firewall in Japan, and South Korea have their own ecosystem. The EU, meanwhile, struggle with the privacy laws like GDPR, which, while important, can slow down the tech adaptation. The US strikes a balance enough regulation to be stable, but not so much it chokes innovation. Point five, government and policy support. Finally, let's not forget the role of the government. The US government has historically played a smart game, funding early tech through the DARPA, which helped to create the internet and offering a tax break to the tech giant. It's not perfect, but less heavily handed than China's state control or EU complex bureaucracy. So why does US dominate in the tech? It's the perfect storm. Risk loving culture, ocean of the capital, top tier talent and huge market. A government that knows when to step back. The EU and Asia and other are the catching up. China's AI jam is a farce. The Europe green tech is impressive, but the USA remains at the global place seater. Watch the neck as the tech evolve with AI, quantum computing, and behind the race is on. The USA is stay on the top. Okay, and have a great day for today.